So our first delegation is Ms. Julie Malott, who is speaking to report 4.3.4, Safe and Healthy School Policies. Welcome, Julia.
Good evening, Halton District School Board trustees. Tonight, I wish to speak in support of the Safe and Healthy Schools policy. This policy is scheduled for review on tonight's agenda. The purpose of this policy is to provide and maintain a safe and healthy environment conducive to student learning. I am in alignment with those objectives, and I thus am pleased that this policy exists and that changes are being considered. I truly believe that fostering safe and healthy environments within our education system is of paramount importance. There are the obvious reasons like physical well-being, but also the more subtle reasons, including the correlation between safe environments and improved learning outcomes, and the known long-term mental health effects that can result from prolonged endurance within emotionally unsafe environments. In this spirit, I wish to bring forward considerations of what establishes a safe and healthy learning environment. These considerations are with respect to the addition of the psychological health and safety wording within the purpose section of this policy. I applaud this addition, as mental health has all too frequently been neglected in our consideration of harm in years gone past. When I was a student, I faced a hostile educational environment, and I am encouraged when I see greater focus placed towards the well-being of all students, including those with diverse identities. With that said, I remain cautious on these additions as well, as I notice that the policy does not define what is intended to be encompassed within this reference towards psychological health. The last several years have ushered an era whereby school boards across Ontario have acted on the principle that ideas that don't align with an individual's worldview are treated as though the ideas themselves are unsafe or harmful. We've seen this frequently occur in matters proximal to identity politics, though this certainly is not the only domain where such suppression of ideas has occurred. As someone who is transgender, I am especially sensitive to this topic, as I've observed that school boards have adopted a worldview where transgender experience is understood only through a particular lens of deconstructive queer theory, and this way of understanding sex and gender is championed as the only safe and healthy way of responding. Ideas that might not be consistent with such theory are suppressed, resulting in both the marginalization of individuals holding those views and a unitary viewpoint presented to the students on these matters. We are all aware that hatred exists towards LGBT community and that hatred is incompatible with safety. I got to personally see that on YouTube comments on the video of the last delegation I made in front of this board. However, the word hate has come to be taken so broadly and safety has come to be interpreted so widely that in many boards, including this one, the de facto mode of operation has been that the thoughts and opinions that divert in any way from the orthodox critical social justice narrative are simply not permitted. Hate used to be contempt and disdain, but now it's sometimes just something that an individual doesn't want to acknowledge or hear. Let me be clear, transgender hate does exist and has no place in our schools. But over the past 12 months, we've observed school boards silence trustees, teachers, administrators, parents, and students when simple discussions have been brought forward about various transgender topics. Some of these topics have included those such as whether certain LGBT books go beyond promoting LGBT acceptance to glamorizing diverse identities. Some have been whether drag queens and drag queen storytime are appropriate elementary activities. And some have been discussions about where and when transgender washroom usage should be handled within our schools. I have opinions on all of these matters, but my point tonight is that some Ontario school boards have ruled that even holding these discussions is harmful, regardless of one's opinion on those topics. And as you are likely aware, 2 cases were heard in Ontario Superior Court this week related to incidents where teachers and trustees themselves have been silenced on the pretense of student safety. School boards have shut down these matters through safe and healthy school policies. The argument, of course, has been that these topics and ideas are hurtful, that hurt is inherently harmful to individuals, and thus that even engaging in these discussions presents a safety concern to student well-being. As someone who is transgender, I worry greatly about how homogenous the trans narrative has become in our schools and the extent to which we have called learning environments of diverse perspectives. We've done this on the purview of student safety, and it's leaving none of our students better off. We are teaching our children that canceling people's ideas who disagree with our beliefs is how we create safe environments. We are fostering a definition of safety that means to shield ourselves from worldviews that challenge our own. Your Safe and Healthy Schools policy, which is only a few paragraphs in length, makes a listing of various identities that this policy aims to protect, and gender identity and gender expression are included in that list. This is a good thing, and an improvement from where it was when I was in school. Your policy also begins by recognizing that open dialogue is required in establishing a safe and healthy school. This is so encouraging. But my question to the board is as follows. How will you ensure that this policy is interpreted such that open dialogue is indeed championed towards the purview of safe and healthy schools, rather than using the objective of safety to silence concerned voices? How will you ensure that education remains well-rounded and ensures our students confront challenging ideas, rather than shielding them from other perspectives in the name of safety? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Julia.